In 1899, Nikola Tesla lit 200 light bulbs with no wires. They were 25 miles from his transmitter in Colorado Springs. No cables, no batteries, just bulbs glowing in the dark, pulling electricity out of what? The air, the ground. How does electricity travel through empty space? And if it worked, why don't we power cities this way? Did someone suppress it? Some corporation protecting wire profits? Or did Tesla discover something that simply doesn't scale the way he imagined? Everyone says big corporations buried wireless power. That's the conspiracy version. The real story is stranger. What Tesla actually found changes what electricity is, what ground means, what's possible, and what geometry itself won't allow. The reason has nothing to do with suppression. It's about what ground is. Here's the conspiracy version. J.P. Morgan pulled Tesla's funding to protect copper wire profits. Wrong. Morgan pulled funding because Tesla kept changing what the project was supposed to do. First, it was wireless power, then wireless communication, then a worldwide broadcasting system. Morgan said, essentially, I gave you money for one thing. The real question isn't who suppressed wireless power, it's why wireless power doesn't work at city scale in the first place. So what did Tesla actually build? In Colorado Springs in 1899, he constructed a massive coil, a tower with a 135-foot metal mast on top. He wasn't broadcasting through the air like radio. He was using the earth itself as a conductor. The ground, he said, is not ground. It's a reservoir. He energized this coil, and 25 miles away, light bulbs lit up. This is documented. It happened. But here's the puzzle. The intensity of the power dropped rapidly with distance. It worked, but it didn't scale. Why? Everyone asks, how did he send power wirelessly? Wrong question. Better question, what was actually conducting the electricity? Not the air. Air is mostly an insulator. Not copper wires. There weren't any. Tesla's answer. The Earth's conductivity combined with resonance. But wait, ground conducts? We think ground means no voltage, safe, neutral, the place where electricity goes to disappear. Wrong. Ground is a massive conductive sphere. The Earth. It contains ions, moisture, minerals dissolved in groundwater. It's not a perfect conductor like copper, but it conducts. Tesla's insight was to treat the Earth like one plate of a giant capacitor. The atmosphere is the other plate. Between them, there's a potential difference that's always there, maintained by the ionosphere. His coil didn't create an electric field from nothing. It tapped into the existing field and made it oscillate. Imagine a bell that's already hanging. I didn't make the bell. I just made it ring. Now, Tesla kept using one word, resonance, not a vague, mystical term. Specific. It means matching the oscillation frequency exactly. Think about a tuning fork. You hit one tuning fork in a room at 440 Hz, and if there's another tuning fork tuned to exactly 440 Hz, nearby it starts humming. Other frequencies stay silent. Tesla's transmitter oscillated at, say, 150 kHz. His receiver was tuned to exactly 150 kHz. Energy couples efficiently when the frequencies match. This is resonant coupling. When they're out of tune, almost nothing transfers. Nature reveals her secrets through vibration. That was Tesla's phrase. He meant it literally. Here's why it failed at scale, and this is geometry, not conspiracy. Radio waves spread out as they travel. The intensity drops as 1 over distance squared. Double the distance, you get a quarter of the power. Tesla's ground conduction was even worse. The current spread spherically through the Earth's volume. Intensity drops as 1 over distance cubed, or worse depending on ground conductivity. His 25-mile demonstration worked because the transmitter was massive. He was pumping in 300 kilowatts. Maybe 5 to 10 kilowatts actually reached the receivers 25 miles away. The rest, 98%, was lost as heat in the ground. Think about what that means. To power New York City from Colorado Springs, you'd need a transmitter consuming the output of an entire power plant. And here's the absurd part. If you lived in an apartment in New York, receiving wireless power this way, your neighbor 100 feet away would be getting more of your power than you would. So what did Tesla actually discover? Not what the conspiracy theorists claim. He found that the cavity between the Earth and the ionosphere resonates at specific frequencies. These are now called Schumann resonances, and they were confirmed in the 1950s. Tesla was right about that. He found that resonant coupling can be extremely efficient over short distances. The modern version is your wireless phone charger, a couple of inches away, about 80% efficient. He found you can use capacitive coupling through electric fields, not just magnetic coupling like transformers use, medical implants. Deathbiats use this today to power pacemakers through the skin without wires. But what he didn't find, what doesn't exist, is a way to defeat the inverse square law. You can't cheat geometry. Power spreading through three-dimensional space must dilute, unless you guide it, which is what wires do, or focus it, which is what lasers do, but then anything crossing the beam gets burned. Tesla's own notebooks show he understood this. He wrote, "The difficulties are of a practical nature." Wardenclyffe Tower on Long Island, built from 1901 to 1906, was supposed to broadcast power to ships at sea. It never transmitted anything. Tesla ran out of money before he could finish it. Not because of a conspiracy, but because he kept expanding the scope of the project. First it was power transmission, then it was communication, then worldwide broadcasting. Morgan, his investor, said, "I gave you money for one thing." The tower was demolished in 1917 for scrap metal during World War I. If wireless power at that scale actually worked, the Navy would have built more towers immediately. They didn't. Because it didn't work, not because it was suppressed, because the physics doesn't allow it. But wireless power does work. Your electric toothbrush charges wirelessly every day. How? 2 coils, about 2 inches apart. The transmitter coil creates an oscillating magnetic field. The receiver coil picks it up. The field doesn't spread far. It drops off rapidly with distance. At 2 inches, you get about 85% efficiency. Wireless charging pads for your phone use the same principle. Distance, millimeters to an inch. Efficiency, 70 to 80%. But that's not what Tesla imagined. Exactly. The scaling problem is geometric, not technological. Power density equals power divided by area. Area grows as distance squared. To deliver 1 kilowatt at 1 mile, you'd need to transmit megawatts. Where does the excess energy go? It heats everything in between. Birds flying over the transmitter would literally cook mid-flight. This isn't suppression. It's physics. What's changed since Tesla's time? Semiconductors, precise frequency control, optimization algorithms. What hasn't changed? The geometry of space. So what did Tesla actually discover? Not conspiracy-suppressed free energy. The actual discovery was the principle of resonant coupling. Energy can transfer through oscillating fields, efficiently at short range. This scales perfectly for modern uses. Wireless charging for phones, electric toothbrushes, electric vehicles, RFID tags that power themselves from the reader's field, contactless payment cards, medical implants. Billions of devices use Tesla's principle today. Just not the way he imagined. He saw massive wireless power stations feeding entire cities. The reality is millions of tiny wireless links, each feeding a single device. More useful, less dramatic. But that's how it actually works. Nature reveals her secrets, Tesla said, but she doesn't compromise on geometry. Which raises a different question. Why did Tesla think it would work at city scale? He knew the inverse square law. He taught it. But he believed the Earth's conductivity would concentrate the return path, make it more like a wire than a broadcast. He was partially right. Ground conduction is different from radio wave propagation, but not different enough. The current still spreads. It still dilutes. The math says no. Could you do better with modern technology? Superconductors? Better resonators? Phased arrays that focus the beam? Short answer, no. The inverse square law doesn't care about your technology. It's geometry. Could you beam power with lasers? Yes, but anything crossing the beam gets vaporized. There are proposals for this. Solar power satellites beaming energy to ground stations. The problem is keeping birds, planes, and people out of the way. Tesla's real legacy isn't wireless power across continents. It's understanding resonance. AC motors run on resonance. Between rotating magnetic fields. Transformers use resonant magnetic coupling. Radio tuning is resonant frequency selection. All of these technologies changed the world. They're everywhere. That's the actual revolution Tesla enabled. Next question. Why does resonance exist at all? Why does the universe allow energy to slosh back and forth between electric and magnetic fields, between kinetic and potential energy? That's deeper. That's about the structure of space itself. I'll stop here.